Hey, what's up guys? Today I will talk about the auxiliary water pump. Also, I will show you a couple of tests you can do and how to replace it on this Mercedes C200 from w203 generation. The purpose of this electric water pump is to provide the heater core with warm coolant when idling or even after you turn the engine off and still want hot air to blow into the cabin. So usually you will get up to 30 minutes of warm air even after you turn off the engine. It might look like a simple system, but it actually involves a lot of other electronics like the coolant temperature sensor, ambient temperature sensor, battery voltage, the control panel with the dials in the cabin, the RPM sensor, and in some newer vehicles, the speed sensor and the keyless system when you can leave your car parked and locked with the air condition on. As you can see, it is important to know that every single system in a car, it strictly depends on other modules to work, and there are few electronics that are independent, like for example the door central locking or panoramic sunroof. Basically these two are independent because it has nothing to do with the engine. So in general, when you have an issue or a trouble code on any of the engine sensors or modules, it is important to know that the possible faulty sensor is related to other parts of the engine so that you can diagnose it much easier and correctly. So for the moment, let's have a look on this auxiliary water pump. It has a simple connector on top which provides 12 volts to the pump. On the connector there is a little plastic cover which you can remove in order to get access to the wires. And you can actually see these wires are marked. Here is the plus, here is the minus. You can simply test if you have 12 volts at the pump. Turn the key in the second position, and with the dials to hot air setting, you can turn the air condition on and you should see 12 volts at the pump. If you find no voltage at the connector, you can check first the ground wire. This is connected directly to the PCM. So just turn your voltmeter to ohms readings. Then I will remove the connector from the pump. Just pull it out. So one terminal of the multimeter on the negative wire down here. Make sure that you have a long enough wire to reach the PCM, which is down there. I will connect the extension like so. So open this fuse box. And on the PCM, there is a white connector down there. And there is a brown with white wire in the back. I'm going to place my probe, the second probe from the voltmeter, on that wire. Now I disconnected. Now I connected. Now I disconnected. So that's a confirmation. The wiring to the PCM and the ground switch works fine. Now to check the power wire from the pump, just connect your voltmeter again on the positive wire. With the voltmeter on continuity again, connect the second probe of the multimeter on the positive terminal of the car battery. Now make sure that these wires don't touch each other. Now when I'm gonna start the air conditioner again with the dials on hot air, you should see continuity between the positive wire of the pump and the car battery positive wire. If you don't have continuity between the battery positive and the connector's positive wire when you turn on the air condition, then it's more likely that the control panel needs to be replaced. It comes as a whole unit, you cannot replace the parts from it. There is an older video I made on how to remove the radio, which will include how to remove the air condition panel. So you can see how you can do a simple diagnose on other part which is related to auxiliary water pump, and similar procedure you can apply in other more important sensors on the engine. Next, let's say that you get 12 volts at the connector, the control panel works fine, but you still don't get warm air into the cabin. Well, you can do a flash on the heater core, check the thermostat, or it might be that the auxiliary water pump is broken and you have to replace it. Another simple test you can do is to apply 12 volts directly to the pump, and as you can see, the pump doesn't react. You should definitely hear it working, but there is nothing going on in there. So that's a clear confirmation the pump is bad and needs to be replaced. From this point, you can go ahead and replace the auxiliary water pump. For that, you need to drain some coolant out of the system. To do that, you have to place the car on jack stands and remove this plastic cover which protects the oil pan and all the stuff in front. Then down here on the driver's side, you'll find this red nut. So if you look closely down here, where is the tip of my finger, there is a little hose and if you open this nut, the coolant will pour through that hose. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to clean that area, because I'm planning to reuse this coolant if I can. And I'm gonna use basically a fuel hose. And now when I open this nut, the coolant will pour through this hose. Before that, I will open the coolant cap, because in theory this should be a sealed system, and now the air should pass easily through the reservoir. Alright, so I've got here a toolbox and the collecting can. So this is the setup with a flathead screwdriver. I will open the nut, and here we go. Coolant begins to pour. Meanwhile, the reservoir is getting emptier. With a 6mm, I will undo this hose clamp and remove it out of the way. Now I can wiggle the pump out, and here it comes. Keep this rubber ring. I think the best is to use a lockable plier in order to catch these hose clamps, which can be quite hard to remove. Slide the hose clamp all the way on the hose. So here is a smaller clamp. I'm going to adjust the lockable plier to catch more tight. Now theoretically you should be able to pull the hose out. Yeah, it comes out quite easy. I'm gonna place some paper towel under. Alright, now let's remove the small one as well. Alright, here it comes. The lockable pliers will be very handy in these situations. Alright, so finally the auxiliary water pump is out. So out with the old and in with the new, I mean reused one. Here is the part number if you need it. Now the installation is a reverse process of removing it. Now you can actually notice that the new pump doesn't have the connector aligned on this side as the previous one. Alright guys, that was it. I hope this video was helpful. If so, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to this channel and you want to see more car repair videos, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, drive safe and I will see you soon.